Okay, integration with the roll call app. Now, just a brief description of the roll call app. The roll call app is a way for my students to tell me that they were in class. They have to pick their class. They pick their their instructor, their class. They put their student ID in and in a passcode that I give them, and then they submit it. It's a web page. It's a bunch of different apps right now. But I thought I would try to incorporate that into the chat idea that we have going on here. So I could invoke some messaging into the app, which would kick information into the chat channel that we've been looking at. Okay, so let me just demo that right now. So I've got this page. This actually was my midterm project, and comes up with a couple things. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back up one of these. I'm going to do, let's just pull up the one that's running locally, and yeah, one that's running locally but hitting the remote server just for effect. Okay, so we've got a bunch of stuff here. In fact, I'll refresh this, and again, we'll call this client 2 just to have a fresh slate. Welcome, thank you very much. And now this is the roll call application as in web form. Okay, so I can pick a student or an instructor, and I can pick a class. Now this is all going through a different roll call API. And then the roll call API itself is going to talk to, well, the database and some other things, but it's also going to talk to the channel SignalR stuff now that is behind the scenes here. So I've purposely set this up to fail because this is not the passcode for this particular, well, for this class. It doesn't really matter what the student is, but it's not for this class. So if I hit this, and I also want another console app up that I wrote, which deals with a few things like gets and posts, and there's a couple things of integrating with roll call that we can talk about. I'm going to connect up to the channel. Well, client 4, I think we called this before. There we go. You see client 4 connected there, and is now receiving messages just to verify. Hiya shows up in there. Okay, very cool. All right, I just want to show both of them so we can see that all this integration is still happening as designed, and I can't move stuff around here. Quite annoying, actually. Okay, right there. Oh, we'll pull it up. Okay, so I'm going to hit now. I'm going to hit the submit. Boom. That's going to go out, and it said that the passcode was not correct. Gave us some information. Try again. Gives them a bunch of information about other things. And you can also see that that was showing up here is not correct, and it also showed up here. It was not correct. So we've got multiple platform stuff going on, which is cool like that. And now I'm going to change it to actually the real passcode, which I believe is Arizona. And I'll do that. And okay, this is actually a student of mine, Carolyn. So she then gets this message that, thank you, Carolyn, you had a great day in this app. But it also says over here, welcome, Carolyn, on that. And it showed it in, okay, we go, welcome, Carolyn B, in there. So we've got these types of things working together. And that's pretty exciting in itself. So if you think about what's going on there, we've got a website, this one, an API for this one, and then it is talking to the channel stuff over on essentially, sorry, I shouldn't put it this one, this is local, but the back end of this site over here, which is they share. So what does that code look like very quickly? I need this application. No. And what I'm going to do there is I've got to get over, no, that was correct. Pop over to my RESTful API, and in here we have a roll call controller, which has a bunch of comments up here. Oh, that's the MAC address one, and should be a post down here. Mouse is being flaky. Wonderful. That does that posting, which accepts those transport based on those information on the screen. And then it comes in and does a bunch of C# things, which isn't all that important. But what is important is right here. I've written this welcome student. In the case of a successful, it writes write a message to the channel, which I wrote, and then otherwise I get an error and it writes it down here. But if I go to that, you can see that we have similar code to what we had in that console application that ran and did a lot of that other stuff. So that's all kind of put together right there. This is I wrote myself. So this is all dynamic based on the hubs and that kind of stuff, and just sends or adds a message based on some criteria and reacts to what happens. All right, so I just wanted to spend a little time showing you that video, and I've got one more after this, which will show you something really unrelated but actually really cool. So stay tuned.